Hi, I'm Pantazi. Today we're going to take a look at Futsal once again. Now, there's lots of different katas that use this, from the Wing Chun Kung Fu, also Super Renpai. There's a Praying Mantis. They're all there. And we've gone over this many, many times, but I still see people using the wrist as the striking surface. So let's get into that just a little bit. And this is where Kyusho helps people, no matter what martial art, understand getting in toward the inner structures of the human being, which are more frail, which are more vulnerable, which are more vital to their functionality. So if you strike a person with this wrist, now it hurts, of course, because it's like a bludgeon, okay? But if you think of the structure of the wrist, if you're hitting someone hard in the skull, for example, all right, you've got a lot of little bones in there. The wrist is not really a solid area to be striking with. You have nerves that are stretched out. You also have tendons. So the idea of striking someone on a hard surface such as their skull with that weapon just doesn't make a lot of sense. You might as well just use the back fist, okay, or an elbow strike. Now, I know you can't always get to the elbow strike, and this would come out a lot easier. Say you got down, you grappled onto someone's shoulder. It's easier just to bang him upside the head with your wrist than it is try to draw your elbow and launch that. Now, what I want you to understand is this is going to stay right on the surface, because the structures of the cheekbone, the mandibula, right behind the ear, they're all protected by lumps, okay, or hills of bone, okay, muscle, tendons, skin, you name it. So when you're going in with that snowshoe type of an attack, you're going to be more surface prone. Now, it can still cause damage, it can still dysfunction the individual or the opponent, and you can still get great effect. But if you start to think of the Futsal more in line with just the back knuckles, like the blood pool hand of the Bubishi, you're going to get a much more penetrating blow, whether it be on the cheekbone, behind the ear, into the eye, right onto the chin, into the carotid sinus, okay? That's when you start developing that hand. Now, there's a kata in particular, Super Renpai, comes from Fujo, and what it looks like is this action. And I see a lot of people still hitting with this wrist with that. When you think of that technique of maybe striking behind the ear at the nerves or the blood vessels back in there, okay, striking into the nape of the neck, okay, with that knuckle, okay, you're going to penetrate deeper into the nerve structures or the blood vessels. And that's what I'd like to get people thinking about. Again, not hitting with broad weapons, okay, but looking for the sharper, smaller instruments that this will not get damaged either. First of all, if you condition your hand on a mukjun, if you were doing Wing Chun, or makiwara, if you were doing karate, okay, you're going to be developing these knuckles, okay? So they're going to be harder than you do when you train your wrist. You're not going to train your wrist on a wooden dummy, okay? You don't train it on the makiwara per se. Some people may do it, but again, you're going to cause damage, or you're going to get a broadside attack on the human being, hitting the exterior structures, which are designed by nature to protect the inner structures. Okay, that's just common sense, okay? But when we get in there with that one knuckle, you are going to penetrate. You're not going to damage your hand. If you hit with enough force to possibly damage the knuckle, if you didn't condition it, what's going to happen is your hand's going to flatten out, and that's going to absorb the shock of the attack, and again, you won't be damaging your hand. So for you, the practitioner, the knuckles are safer. For the opponent, they're more devastating. They penetrate deeper. And again, the main idea of this video is to understand that the exterior structures of the human body, by nature, by design, okay, protect the inner vulnerable, vital organs, nerve tissue, blood vessels, etc. So don't bludgeon the outside, penetrate to the inside.